Hey, 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 welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back, despite all my cray. So right now I'm going to be doing a ClairTarot reading for, I don't know. Oh, shit. Blu-rays, for Blu-rays. Okay. Blu-rays. This is an energy update for Blu-rays. I asked the collective energy of the Blu-ray family, what is this reading going to be about? And I was told they're coming in hot. What I saw as I heard that was it looked like a big ass comet. Oh, sorry, I just got another message. I couldn't help that sound. I couldn't help that sound. Okay. Okay. Let me just finish getting cards drawn for us. I think I was a little too excited. All right. Ooh. Look at all these walls I built. Baby, they're tumbling down. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo. So I'm pulling out cards I haven't used in a long time. I don't know why. I was just told to have a ton of different cards. And these are some of the cards that I have not used in so long. All right. Let us see what this is about. Oh, wow. Okay. That works. That works. And then Michael has a specific message. Oh, that was sweet. When I opened it up, half the cards fell out, and what was left inside the box, the very top card said, "You are special." Thank you, Mikey. That's a sweet thing to say. All right. So if you don't know what a Blu-ray is, you probably want, if you find yourself on this live, you probably a Blu-ray. All right. Let us go ahead. Get back in your box, Mang. One final card, simply because he asked me to. Can't say I never listened to you, Mike. You can't say I never listen. Actually, you can, because I usually don't. So here we go. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my angel now. Like you've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. It's a risk that I'm taking. Never gonna shut you out. You're everything I need and more. It's written all over your face. Standing in the light of your halo. All right. Let's get started, Blu-rays. Here we go. Don't scare me. Ooh, sorry, guys. I'm already starting with my ooh. All right. Here goes. So, Temple of Carnelian, entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet. Many, if not all, of the Blu-rays were indeed filtered through Lyra. And I'm not just talking about Blu-ray starseeds. I'm talking about a very specific group of Blu-ray individuals. These individuals, just a little background story. Okay. Little background story. Archangel Michael's family tree has many branches. Just like any other tree out there, there are multiple branches that make up the tree. Now, several of those branches fell. Okay, it was a Melchizedek patriarchal fall from grace. They were convinced by not so nice things to assist with the rebellion that occurred. Okay. Yeah, y'all don't know. Y'all busy talking smack about Lucifer. Didn't even know Michael's family participated. Yes, part of Archangel Michael's family did participate in that. They are fallen branches of that family line. Now there are a couple branches. I want to say there were three branches that made it out of that with about 80% of their coding left intact, meaning the distortions that allowed for the other branches that fell, those weren't, they didn't affect these branches of his tree. So for those three branches that remained intact, they were then filtered through quite a few different, very specific lineages, Lyran's being one of them. Okay, we needed to have that lack of fear and potential ferocity, tempered with the code of Bushido. That's why we were filtered also through the samurai. So Temple of Carnelian, entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet. Carnelian is a very, very fiery stone, very, very fiery stone. And it's really a call for us to really, 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 hold on, really, really, really tap into our powers. Let me see, Temple of Carnelian. There we go. You have such strength within you. It's time to risk that. It's time to trust in your own boldness and courage, which is what Lyrans have, a boldness and a courage. Taking risks that feel true to your heart and engaging in practices that make you feel truly and genuinely alive, embodied, and more of yourself, even if not always comfortable, are going to help you live the life you were born to live. In the fierce belly of Sekhmet, the lion-headed sister of Isis, the Egyptian goddess of passion, courage, and fire, there's no room for procrastination, self-doubt, or turning back. She urges you onto your high destiny, calling you to believe, keep going, reach higher, and expand wider. You can do so knowing that the Temple of Carnelian will bring you warm strength, encouragement, and deep trust in your own body wisdom to guide you through any situation or relationship that may arise to test you, so that you can grow into more of your magnificent being. So this is really an acknowledgement that they coming in hot. Someone's coming in. Ooh, is that right? Okay. Whoever's coming in, y'all already giving me a headache. Y'all giving me a no, I'm joking. Card number 45, transformation. This incoming energy, incoming connection. Okay. It's a twin connection. Remember, some of the Blu-rays are part of the first wave of reunification between the twin halves. These halves are actually whole individuals, whole beings that are needing to reconnect to further amplify their power so they can fulfill their purpose in this life. Now, the connection doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic one. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to connect with them in real life. It could simply remain an energetic connection. It doesn't have to be romantic. That's a very key component for what you need to understand regarding twin flame, twin ray connections, okay? Okay. This gives me anxiety. Card number 20, flow. You have to allow yourself to flow. You are the water, and your higher selves are what this individual is. Your higher self is the one dictating the flow of the water, directing it, guiding it, encouraging it. You have to listen to your higher self. No one else, not even me. You ain't got to listen to me. Who the hell am I? Nobody. Nobody to you. You have to listen to your higher self, though, okay? Although there's a lot of fear, although there's a lot of hesitation, you have to look through the situation. It's not always what it seems, okay? It's not always what it seems. Sometimes the thing that's the most scary, the connection or whatever that's the most scary, is actually the thing that's the thing that you're needing to take you to a higher level of being. New experiences and possibilities. So you are riding a horse of destiny through a garden, and this horse knows exactly where to go. Just allow yourself to sit pretty as the horse takes you to where you need to be. All right. You enjoy the flowers, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the details of your life with no fear about getting lost, no fear about falling off, just no fear, period. Now, you come from a legacy of light. And although you come from a legacy of light, you are back at an infantile stage of your consciousness. Much of what you needed to remember, much of what you need to know in order to accomplish what you're here to do in this life has largely been forgotten by the conscious mind. And that's okay, because all the events in your life are going to help trigger moments of remembering. Okay. And that's why you have to allow yourself to really just be fully present as that horse very gently and lovingly takes you through the garden of your life. Not gardens, but flowers have very distinct smells about them. Okay. Flowers, each flower has its own very distinct smell. Now, they say that smell, along with, I think, music or taste, I forget which sense, but smell is a very powerful trigger for memories. Things that you've forgotten, once you smell the aroma that is associated with that memory, it can absolutely re-trigger the remembrance. So that's kind of what's happening. This is why the horse is bringing you through the garden of life, so you can once again begin remembering. All right. So card number 33, 9th house, faith. It's time for you to begin having faith in yourself, faith in your ability to get through this process, to remember what you need to remember, to reconnect with the people you need to reconnect with, to be able to handle those reconnections, handle all the other things. I feel energy surging. Hold on. It's a lot of energy coming up. We travel, some of us forever, to seek other states, other lives, other souls. This is about you traveling. You are not the only one that's inside the garden of your life, of your soul. All right? There are other beings in that garden that you are traveling towards. So obstacles are being lifted. The 9th house in astrology is the house position for the sign Sagittarius and is ruled by the planet Jupiter, the planet of openness, luck, and expansion. Okay. This house represents a search for meaning through established structures. Things to do with government and religion may come about whenever this house is included. Destiny, fate, and karma all come into play, as well as your view of what God may or may not be. Let's see. This house represents the written word, communication through the written word. So I assume it's expect a message to come in. Expect some sort of communication from this soul connection. This communication may come in the form of a text message, an email, a messenger, whatever it is. It's a written message, and it's a need to reconnect, for the two of you to reconnect. Let's see. This card also means you'll have to go outside of your ordinary life to achieve your goals. Let me see. Shit. The possibility of returning to school and furthering your education is likely in the near future. School of life. This is going to be some shit. I think it's really going to shake up what you think you know. Whatever you think you know about yourself, about your journey, about spirituality, about all of that shiz bam, is about to be burned off. Not joking. I think it's about to be burned up, and from its ashes will rise the phoenix of your truth. Let's see. Occasionally, this card indicates a temporary disconnect from close family where you depart from your known life into another one as a pilgrim or a seeker. Um, Usually, when this card appears, the reason is for knowledge and or for broadening of understanding. There will be a desire to visit places of arcane wisdom and knowledge where you can expect the history behind the area to be very well documented. I don't necessarily feel like you're going to be traveling to a physical geographic location. It feels like this travel is going to be towards a reconnection, as well as diving deep within yourself, accessing the different regions of your memory. Okay. If your question is about love, one or the other person needs freedom. There won't be a commitment anytime soon. So, again, it's a reinforcement of the very real fact that the label twin flame, twin ray, soulmate does not equate to human concept of romance. That's a very limited, very, very limited way of existing. And these connections go far beyond any type of human comprehension of their actual depth, texture, gravity. It's a very intense, intense connection that when we limit it to just what do you call it, a romantic relationship, it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. It creates a lot of complications. It creates a lot of ugly things, a lot of ugly things. Let's see. And this process will change you. This card has to do with what has been tried and tested and what's already established. No matter how expansive or broad-minded, it will be rooted in the traditional. So that's interesting. That's interesting because, well, that would explain this card. I find that interesting because the traditional view of twin flame, twin ray is one of a romantic perception. And it would take a miracle for everyone to realize that it's so beyond romance, so beyond romance. Mother Mary, expect a miracle. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. Well, I've been praying for understanding. I've been praying for us to begin understanding that the whole romance aspect of this is just no. It's not accurate. So maybe if I say it enough times, it'll shift what is commonly perceived. I don't know. Let's see the other stack. Let's see. So, Serpent of Fire, Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood. There you go. Is that Katy Perry? That's not Katy Perry. Here. Oh, that made me sick thinking of her. I don't know why. Serpent. Okay, Serpent of Fire. Isis, Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood and Queen of the Serpent of Fire, guide you through transformation now as your energy field grows stronger and old energies are burned away in the process of your growth. Trust that you're growing and you're more capable than you've been previously. Don't assess your current ability based on past standards as they no longer apply to you. You are stronger and more powerful now than you've ever been before. You need to learn afresh what you're capable of. So this is a huge change in you. This is about really understanding that as much as you think you know yourself, as much as you think you understand and have mastered aspects of spirituality, of human development, psychology, emotions, all of that, we really don't know much. We really, really don't know much. Even the people who claim to be masters and gurus of their respective specialties, they really only know a fractal, just a fractal of what's actually going on, what truths are occurring. So open yourself to the possibility that maybe, just maybe, there's more room for you to grow, that maybe you still have quite a long ways of growing and learning needing to happen before you could ever begin to even think that you know what you think you know. Okay? So it's not that you aren't worthy or you're not smart enough. It's just that we, again, are still in the infancy of our consciousness. You know, children often think they know everything. You know, they often think they know everything. They often think they don't have to listen because the parent, the adult, is just being really uncool. Okay. Okay. And if you're going to fight your organic process, if you're going to be of that mindset where you already know, someone's trying to share information with you, oh, you already know. Okay, it's going to leave you like this, but you already knew that, right? Right? That's what happens every time. Blanket statement, true across the board. Whenever you think you know more than what you actually know and you refuse to open yourself to the potentiality that your higher self is attempting to steer you away from a potential unnecessary hurt, this is how you're going to end up. Enjoy it. I mean, that's a little bit mean to say, but shit, it's the truth. You cultivated that, so you enjoy it. Go ahead and wallow in that. And then when you're done acting like you know everything, come out of that phase and be open to receiving the very guidance that your soul is giving you. I'm not talking about I'm smarter than you or no more than you. I'm talking about your soul has been trying to talk to you for quite some time. 100% at 9:54. 109, 5 plus 4 is 9. 109.9. Okay. So yeah, soul is basically saying, she be telling you the truth, gave me a dap. See? I know because I went through that many times. I still go through that. It's perfectly okay. It's part of my process. Athena, inner wisdom. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. All right. You know what to do. You need to listen to your higher self. You need to begin opening those channels of communication with your higher self. Oftentimes, people are opening channels to communicate with beings outside of themselves, failing to open a channel to speak to themselves. What kind of caca ass thing is that? That is like a crazy ass idea. A crazy ass idea because you know better, right? So I'm going to talk to all my spirits and guides, and I hear this shit a lot. They ask me a question and like I'll give the answer that the higher self is telling me to give. Oh, I already know. I speak to my spirits and my guides, and okay, why are you asking me then? I don't need to prove anything to you. I don't want to be right. Like, if you already know, don't waste my time asking me questions you already know answers to. Oh, but they don't know. They don't know because what they've read in books and Blu-rays, you're very susceptible to this because you're longing for a connection that's deep, that goes beyond what a human can actually, like describe, articulate. So you're more susceptible to falling prey to this, falling victim to this need to connect with something outside of yourself that's considered high level, celestial, galactic, you're very, very prone to being breached because of this desire to reconnect with your own people, with your own type of spiritual essence. So this is very, very important that if you're going to be opening any channels, if you're going to channel anything at all, you best believe you need to be channeling your higher self, not some presence. Not some presence that claims to be some ascended master. It just reminds me of this one person. I gotta laugh because that shit's insane to me. And if someone like me that's so eccentric finds that shit insane, you know there's a problem. You know there's a problem. Self-reflection is key. All right. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the eyes. If you don't recognize who you are, your life is being deconstructed. Not because you're being punished, not because um, what you are right now isn't good enough, but because you're finally ready to begin stepping into the light of your own truth. And don't be surprised if this deconstruction of your old self, your old life involves you, becoming so hyper aware of how inauthentic, unauthentic, what is the word? Unauthentic? Is that a word? Inauthentic? Whatever, whichever one it is, my brain ain't functioning. Whichever one it is, it's not an authentic version of you. Okay. And that's being deconstructed so that the real you can rise to the surface and begin just existing. That's all it is. You just need to just exist. Inauthentic. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kim. So here it is, card number 55, Taming the Wind. I've come to recognize wind. Wind in itself is like the raw process or truth of speaking. Because, when you exhale and you position your vocal cords in such a way, that's actually what speech is. That's what talking is. Well, that's wind being released from your lungs. So wind to me is speaking, taming the wind. This is about taming your need to silently destroy yourself. The conversations you have in your head about yourself, about how you're not enough, you don't know enough, you just started, all of this just really, yeah, that needs to be tamed. That needs to be tamed. You can't allow that to get out of hand, because when you begin to really take in as your truth that you're somehow deficient and not enough as you are in this moment, you then open yourself to ego issues. The ego will be used to make you feel like you have to prove yourself. And when you feel like you have to prove yourself, you then begin to exist in a way that's not who and what you actually are, because you don't have to try to be you. But when you're trying to prove something, you're going to have to try, right? So as you're moved further and further from your center, Blu-rays, you get very susceptible to thought inception. And that's when parasitic things begin to really manipulate the way your mind functions, the way it processes life events, the way it processes your thoughts about yourself, all of this. And this, it can be undone. It simply delays your progress, but it's one hell of a pain in the ass that you really don't have to deal with unless you choose to. You can definitely still learn the lessons without experiencing any of that. But you have to choose to listen, okay, to your higher self, not to me, not to anyone else, to your higher self. So card number 51, Mercury retrograde, reinvention. Your higher self is really attempting to reinvent you. It's not even really reinventing. The human mind will consider it some form of reinvention because it's an aspect of you that hasn't been allowed to exist on a surface level since you were born. Ain't that some shit? Since you were born, since the moment you came out of the womb, that aspect of you, generally speaking, hasn't been allowed to exist on a surface level, to be seen by others. From infancy, you're being told and programmed what is socially acceptable. Societal programming. Yeah. Most of us don't realize the person who we believe ourselves to be right now. It's nothing but a compilation of other people's perceptions of who they need us to be for them. That's it. That's just it, you know? Why not? Because you existing as you are is you being a sovereign. And you can't be a sovereign when you exist on a plane of existence that was and has been, continues to be used as a slave plane. Your energy is being harvested. You're being kept in a perpetual state of fear, lacking. When you recognize the truth of your sovereignty, you can't be manipulated, coerced, bribed, bought, any of that. That's why I behave the way I do. You can't tell me what to do. You can't shame me unless I'm ashamed myself because I recognize I hurt someone else. I misbehaved. I don't feel any shame. Like you can't do that to me because I choose to not let you. And I won't tell you what to do. By the virtue of me accepting my sovereignty, I, by laws of sovereignty, have to acknowledge and respect your sovereignty. That means you don't get to tell me what to do. I don't get to tell you what to do, but we can come together as equals, standing eye to eye and share our thoughts. And then give the other person enough time, space, and love to decide what they're going to do with their thoughts on the thoughts I shared. I mean, that's like sovereignty right there. I mean, shit. Most of us probably won't even finish college. Most of us won't work that 9 to 5. Most of us will share our earnings. Most of us will share food. We can't have that. That's reunification. Reunification is powerful. And that's why the Blu-rays came here. That's why many of the Blu-rays who were first born as indigos are labeled with like opposition defiant disorder, whatever the fuck it is. ADHD, Asperger's. Asperger's. I can't help but say Asperger's. I just, I have Asperger's. Don't judge me for that. I do. But yeah, so it's not a reinvention. It's a reclamation. It's a return to your original state. And people will be like, oh, that's so old. Yeah. Have you ever heard of retro? We gonna retro that bitch back. We're bringing it back. Bringing it back. Yeah. Labeled lazy. A lot of the people with a very elevated spiritual purpose. Oh my God. I was like, what is that? A lot of the people with a very elevated spiritual purpose can't work that 9 to 5. They just can't. And they're told they're lazy. They're told, oh, you're just a leech. Oh, you just want to state benefits or blah, 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 blah. No. I mean, how idiotic would it be to participate and perpetuate the very system you came into this life to dismantle? Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Because a lot of people who have that elevated life purpose, you can't tell them what to do. You can't. You just can't. And it's not that they're defiant. It's that their sovereignty is so intact, it's very difficult for them to go along with this. The fact that you have to pay to exist on a planet that is our mother, that's like one sibling telling another sibling, give me $5 to breastfeed. You need to give me $10 to walk into the house that we both occupy. I didn't buy the house, but you need to pay me $10 to walk in. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't giving you shit. Get out of my way. I will bulldoze right through you. And that is a Blu-ray. You want $10? Okay. I'm going to beat your ass. No, don't beat anyone's ass. That's me just getting a little aggressive. Just don't mind me. Don't mind me. But that's the truth of it. You know what I mean? That's why we're not allowed to have any shred of our sovereignty left intact. If you look at it, in America, I don't know about other countries. Actually, I think in other countries it's not as applicable. But in America, in the developed countries, okay, the developed countries, you're not allowed to order your own medical testing. You're not allowed to prescribe your medication to yourself. Why is that? Why is that? There is nothing that a doctor knows, and for those who are in the medical industry, I know this is going to make you cringe and make you think differently of me, but it's a fucking truth. Okay? Cringe all you fucking want behind your screen. It's a fucking truth because I was going to be a part of that industry. Okay? All my family is a part of that industry. So I think I have an idea of what the fuck that industry is. The truth is, you should be able to order your own testing. There is nothing that a doctor learns in medical school that you cannot learn for yourself using Google and a library card. There are programs that exist that allows you to audit a classroom. And these classrooms that you can audit, meaning attend for free, they are taught at Ivy League colleges. Only problem is because you're not forking over the money, you're not participating in the very system that enslaves the people monetarily before they've developed enough to understand I don't need to be enslaved. They won't give you credit for that. They won't give you a little certificate that says you completed that. I've taken plenty of courses that have allowed me to audit classrooms in Ivy League schools. Ivy League schools. These are thousands of dollars that people pay to learn that material that I'm learning for free. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So there's nothing that you can't do for yourself. But no, we're taught if you're sick, you have to go to a specialist. If this, you have to go to that specialist. If that, you have to go to this specialist. Oh, you can't do anything unless you go to school and are taught by a specialist, a professor, because you can't do that yourself. Well, I beg to fucking differ. I taught myself Spanish by myself when I was like in third grade. I found my brother's Spanish book, his high school Spanish book. I read that shit and I figured out Spanish. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I figured out quite a bit in life. Figured out how to work programs, how to install shit. I know how to do audio-visual cabling because common sense, in and out. Okay, you just follow the strings, in and out. Just like with spiritual development, spiritual journeys, you follow the strings. What goes in must eventually come out, and you plug that out into wherever you need it to go. But no, we're taught we are so outside of ourselves that we don't know what's going on inside of ourselves. How can someone be an expert on you if they've only talked to you for 15 minutes? How is that? My children have certain medical conditions that I've diagnosed myself. And because I've participated in that program of I'm lacking, I'm not smart enough, I don't have that plaque and the initials after my name. So I go and pay hundreds of dollars, take them to doctors only to give me the same damn diagnosis that I came up with. And the doctor's like, are you in the medical field? No, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Oh, well, how did you know? Did you take them to another specialist? No, I Googled that shit. Real conversations. Real conversations. Okay? Real conversations. And the people who are uncomfortable with your freedom will shame you, will tell you, no, that's crazy. Why are you doing that? So dangerous. What? What? And until you get very confident in your own ability, you're going to continue to buy into that. And that's okay. That's okay because every time you diagnose yourself and you go to the doctor and get the confirmation that you were right, that's one more drop in the bucket of self-confidence. One more. Now, you also have to be very realistic about what you can handle at home versus what needs actual true medical care. Like, are you're gonna do surgery on yourself? Just you Google that shit all you want, but I'm sorry. I'm not gonna surgically remove anything from myself. I'm gonna go pay someone who has all the equipment to do that. I'm not buying no Amazon Prime shit, having that Prime to my house. Stop. You have to understand the limits of your human condition. Okay, so with the whole sovereignty thing, yeah, that's why you're not allowed to keep that sovereignty intact. Because let's face it, the medical industry is one of the biggest slave farms there is. They keep you perpetually sick because Big Pharma wants perpetual customers. Perpetual customers. I know quite a few oncologists who would never, ever, ever recommend to their own family chemotherapy or radiation. Why? Because that treatment will, in fact, seed a much worse cancer than the original one. Ooh. I'm just saying, let's spit some truth here. So card number 5, knowledge. This is about you doing your due diligence. The reason this has been allowed to happen is because we've become lazy. We've become lazy. We don't want to take accountability for our life, for our decisions. So we go ahead and give our power to someone else. So if they fuck up, which they're human too. Ever heard of misdiagnosis, medical malpractice, all of that good stuff? Yeah, they fuck up too. They're trained by an industry to perpetuate that industry. So if you're going to an allopathic doctor, modern medicine doctor, you are going to a peddler of pharmaceuticals. Whatever specialty you go to, they will recommend their specialty's version of treatment. I have knee problems. Instead of encouraging me to address the muscle imbalance that causes the issues within my knees, I went to an orthopedic surgeon as recommended by my allopathic primary care physician. The orthopedic surgeon almost 20 years ago told me I needed total knee replacement for both my knees. And by the end of the year, I won't be able to walk. So he gave me a month or two to decide and then call him when I'm ready to have my knees cut out. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You want to take my knees? I don't think so, buddy. By the way, I still have my knees. I'm still going to the gym. Okay. I'm still going to the gym. So it's that knowledge. It's that knowing whatever specialty you go to, that's what they are going to recommend. So if you want true healing, you go to someone who's involved with true healing the whole being wellness. What do you call it? Homeopathic, naturopathic doctors, herbalists, things like that. They go through similar amounts of training as doctors. Allopathic doctors, they go to a very similar amount of rigorous training. Okay. If you want to heal spiritually, you don't go to someone who just teaches you love and light because that's fractionated. You have to go to someone who can simply serve as a trigger for your own remembering, because everything you will ever need in this life, especially as a Blu-ray, is already contained within your morphogenetic template. That's why I don't consider myself a teacher. I don't consider my classes. I have a membership. I trigger people's remembrance. I share what I remember, and it helps you to remember. I'm not a healer. I'm a facilitator. You healing yourself. I'm not going to take credit for any of this. You're doing it yourself. I'm going to help you, though. So this is about knowledge, about understanding. You have everything within you to do whatever it is you need to do in this life. Everything. Everything. And, there will be people who will regurgitate this. Everything that I say, they will regurgitate it. But do they actually know what's behind what's being said? No, it just sounds good. So as a sovereign, which I see you as a sovereign, you have to discern for yourself whoever is just a parrot, a spiritual parrot, regurgitating the things that they hear and Google, and it sounds good. Okay, this can make me look good. I'm going to say it too. Or is it something they actually practice? Is it actually a part of their truth and just they're simply sharing parts of their truth? Once you figure out what you need, you will have a bountiful harvest. Once you do the work for the seeds that have been planted over the course of your life, you start watering it, you start really cultivating, you're going to have a very bountiful harvest. This is your abundance in all its forms. Blu-rays and every other soul in existence is gifted with an abundance package from God's source. That abundance package is everything you could ever possibly want or need. Everything that's in alignment with your highest self, it's given to you. You don't even have to ask. It's yours because you are loved. You're loved. Plain and simple. You're loved. There's no extra stuff that needs to be said. You're loved. Sometimes you just need some quiet time. Take some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. This is about you listening to your higher self. This is about self-reflection. This is about understanding you are your own guru. No one else gets to tell you what to do. No one else gets to dictate to you. When you allow other people to dictate to you, to tell you what to do, to shame you, to guilt you into compliance, that's an utter disrespect of your soul. Absolutely. It's a disrespect of your soul. And so many of us experience this on a day-to-day basis. So many of us do this, and we don't even realize it. We're giving our power away left and right. And, If you, don't help everyone and sacrifice yourself and martyr yourself and live in destitution, you're not spiritual. Your gifts, why are you charging for your gifts? Those are gifts. Gift to me, biatch, not to you. Are you fucking kidding me? You come into my birthday party, I'm supposed to give you my gift? I mean, what's the logic in that? What's the fucking logic in that? Let that sink in, you guys. Let that sink in. It's my birthday party that you're coming to, but I'm supposed to give you my gift, or else I'm a bad birthday girl. Help me understand that. Help me understand that. How is that fair? Spiritually speaking, how is that fair? That something that was gifted to you must be given to everyone, and you are not to benefit from this in any way, shape, or form. You are to continue being distracted and overworked. You got to go to that 9 to 5 because you paid like $200,000 for that education that gives you still minimum wage, but you got the letters behind your name, right? And I mean, heaven forbid you use your gifts because it's spiritual. Well, what if I tell you doctors are medically gifted, lawyers are legally gifted, police officers are, I don't know what the fuck they're gifted. I don't know, public safety gifted. But that's the most ludicrous thing. The most ludicrous thing. Your gift should benefit you and take care of you just as you gifting your gift to someone else will benefit them and take care of them. And that's one of the things Blu-rays have to come to terms with, okay? Clear out that old belief that you need to be lacking, that you need to be suffering in order to be spiritual. That unless you're giving everything away with a smile, you're not spiritual. You're not progressing. You're not evolved. Well, you know what? People can think whatever they want because really their opinion doesn't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Card number 43, flow. Allow your abundance to flow back to you. All right? Allow your abundance to flow back to you. If you do energetic work, if you offer energetic services, energy work, ain't that funny? Energy work is supposed to be for free. Work is in the fucking title. Anyways, if you provide energetic services, oh, look at that, services. Are services free? No. Anyways, if you do any of that, you do readings, energy work, whatever it is, set your prices to what you would pay a stranger. You know the quality of what you do. You know the gravity of how your energy affects a circumstance. If someone were offering you that depth of energy work, what would you pay them? How would you value that? And whatever you'd be willing to pay, that's what you set your price to. And if no one pays it, that's fine because you've been surrounded by the very people who still don't understand the gravity of what you're offering. So why don't you begin showing it? Why don't you begin allowing people to witness for themselves the gravity of what you're doing? That's it. And once enough people understand, they'll begin to comprehend the prices that are set are compensation for your time. So you can continue to develop your abilities, level up even further, serve even deeper. And there's nothing wrong with that. Allowing your gifts to provide for you so you can focus on your purpose. And if that's your purpose, you need to be able to afford living, existing in this plane. That's plain and simple. So allow the flow. Card number 32, 8th house, endings, beginnings. This is about ending the cycle of martyrdom. Martyrdom. Blu-rays are very susceptible to martyrdom. Absolutely. We have this innate need to serve. We have this uncontrollable desire to take away other people's suffering. And we are so highly misunderstood as a spiritual lineage that it creates a lot of distortions within us. Because people don't understand us, it's very difficult for them to accept us. And because people don't accept us readily, and you're very sensitive to that. Even if people don't say it, you feel it. You absolutely feel it. You feel on such a painful level how different you are. How different you are even from the weird people, you know? You know what I'm saying? If you're Blu-ray, you fucking know what I'm saying. Even in the weird group, I'm fucking seen as weird. Yeah, yeah. It's time to end that, okay? It's time to end that. It's time to recognize that your participation in that mindset, the martyrdom, that's manipulation. It doesn't make you a bad person because you didn't understand this before. But when you go out of your way, martyr yourself, think on why you do that. Is it because it's the right thing to do? No. It's because you don't want to look bad, because you want to look spiritual, because you want this person to have a specific type of opinion about you, a positive opinion. So you'll pay whatever price it is. That's emotional manipulation. And now that you know that, you can stop participating in it. Martyrdom is not spiritual. It's not. It severs the circle that is love. True love, omni love, will seek balance, meaning you allow yourself to receive as much as you give. You give as much as you receive. It's a constant flux of energy. Money is also energy. Friendship is energy. It's an exchange of energy. Okay. If you're not interested in being friends with someone, then maybe you need to be compensated monetarily. Does this mean you have to be paid for everything? No, because it's a recognition. It's a need to recognize that sometimes some of the interactions that are occurring, even if it's like a service, those were agreed upon on a soul level way before you even came into this body. That's what I call soul work. There are certain circumstances where no, I don't even talk to me about money. I feel in my heart this was something our souls spoke about. There's no exchange. This was already pre-planned. Whatever balances, they were already paid. Okay. Don't talk about money. That's some earth shit. This is soul shit that's happening right now. So as Blu-rays, you have to allow yourself to begin experiencing opportunities that will help you to discern the difference between the two. So, the spiral. For many Blu-rays right now, you feel like you're spiraling out of control. Everything is spiraling out of control. Your whole life is a mess. You don't know who's your real friend. The people who you thought were your real friends have suddenly disappeared, or there's drama. Everything is a mess. Think of it as a spin cycle, getting rid of the extra fluid, that dirty water. You're being washed. Ascension cycles are like washing machines. And I don't know if you're aware how a washing machine works. It's through agitation. You get clothing, you stick it in there, and there's an agitator. There's either, what do you call it? Like things that stick out from the barrels if it's a side loading, or it's that center column that has ridges on it. But as the water is being agitated, it's knocking loose the dirt that's been ingrained. Notice what I'm talking about? Ascension creates agitation to knock loose the filth that's been ingrained as a part of your spiritual programming. So when you feel like you're spiraling out of control, that's a spin cycle. It's taken out all of that filthy water. Okay? It's taken all that filthy water out. It's squeezing it out, spiraling it out. This is a path of ascension. This is absolutely the path of ascension. And although it may feel lonely, although things may seem crazy, you aren't alone in this. You aren't. There is another that's coming forward that you've always been connected with. This is a soul connection. You've always had this connection. It's being reestablished. Okay? There's also people in your life, most Blu-rays, there's at least one or two individuals in your life that you can lean on. You just choose not to because you're so ashamed of who you are. You're so ashamed of being so different and so weird that you don't want to allow anyone to really see what's going on because, I mean, heaven forbid people see the greatness that you are, you know? Most Blu-rays, your ego works flipped, meaning when your ego flares up, it doesn't make you feel big and bad and better than everyone else. It makes you feel very small, very stupid, very misunderstood, very unaccepted. That's Blu-ray. That's Blu-ray for you. So when you begin to feel these things, card number 20, softly, softly, the tender touch. When you begin to spiral, very commonly, Blu-rays will begin a very, very destructive, painful internal conversation. Very, very common. I mean, I even want to say all Blu-rays do this. It's true. It's all Blu-rays. Because we hold ourselves to such a high standard. There's a part of us that still remembers fully, maybe not consciously, but there's still a part of us that remembers fully our celestial origins. We are a hybridized energy. Okay, Blu-rays are hybridized. We come from a very high line of angelic coding, hybridized with human genetics. That's why you feel weird. That's why you know you don't fit in. That's why. Okay, you're hybridized. You fucking alien. I'm kidding. You are part alien. I'm just saying. I, I'm sorry. Okay. Divine Sun Child, blessing of the Sun Falcon. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Uh, you are alien. I'm telling you. Most Blu-rays have all kind of weird ass health problems. You keep going to the doctor, everything's inconclusive. No joke. You keep going, all your tests come out normal, and your doctor's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You hypochondriac? You got no problems. Your tests come out normal. I promise you there's a problem. I promise you I'm not making this shit up. They don't care. Divine Sun Child, blessing of the Sun Falcon. Blessings of the Sun Falcon, the Divine Sun Child Horus, son of Isis and Osiris, flow to you now, beloved initiate. It's time to allow your life to flourish without limits, to let your light burn bright and without veil, just like the midsummer sun burning without contest in the Egyptian desert. Blessings of the Sun Falcon herald the time when your divine legacy is being born. It's your time to burn bright. Ooh, I feel the goosebumps forming. Horus, a divine son child of Isis and Osiris, was born out of impossible circumstance. Through the great devotion of his mother Isis and her loving determination to heal her husband and bring him back to life, to eventually become king of Egypt, defeating dark forces that would seek to destroy him and all that he loved with great triumph. It's a story of the divine hero of Egypt. It's also a metaphor for our inner world. Our divine feminine must stay true to her values of love, healing, and the triumph of creativity over destruction, born of fear and hate. She must never give up her belief in her ideals. Our divine feminine is our body, whether man or woman, our inner values and the ideals that make our hearts beat stronger and feel right within our belly. With such love for her inner divine masculine, she never gives up on her belief in him either, in her desire for their togetherness. It leads to his healing, even if he's been lost, fragmented, and thought dead. The divine masculine is our spirit, whether woman or man, that our body desires to unite with, to help it come to life and light in a new and blissful way. The love in our hearts calls our spirit home into our bodies. We become able to stand firm, take action, and make choices that allow our inner ideals to become part of our world. We live according to our values, not just hold them inside of ourselves. This is the story of Blu-ray. This is absolutely the story of a Blu-ray rising. Finally, as our divine feminine and masculine unite within our bodies, a new golden consciousness is born. This is the sun child Horus, with an eye that is the moon and an eye that is the sun, representing the perfect balance of masculine and feminine in harmony with each other. The divine sun child is a new life filled with love, light, and the power in the world. It's the authentic self living the inner truths in the outer world, an agent of healing on this planet, and inspiration for others to be bold, brave, and vivid enough to walk their own path to eventually receive the same blessings. So that golden child Horus, I mean, the fact that it's a golden child, that is the birthing of the Christ consciousness within you. You are rebirthing yourself into a consciousness worthy of a Christ. Now, there's a common misconception that Jesus, the Christ, that's not his name. The Christ is a term given. That's a label. He was placed on a pedestal, raised up to the 8th level of consciousness, 8 being the number of reunification, 8 being the number of the Christ consciousness. It's through the 8th chakra, the high heart, that we enter into the 9th, the God seed energy, the 9th chakra behind the head, which turns your attention because it connects the neck and the base of the skull. It turns your attention to the Christ within you. And that's some shit. And it said the man may be the head of the family, but the wife is the neck. The man will not see what the wife does not allow him to. She controls where the focus goes. So the feminine controls where the focus goes. And if you allow that focus to go from your high heart to your 9th chakra, you then enter a state of knowing, gnosis, which is what Jesus was preaching. Returning back to gnosis, a state of knowing where there is no intermediary. You are hardwired into creation. Everything you could ever want or need, all the protection, all the love, all the energy, you are hardwired, plugged into that source. You don't have to ask anyone to be an intermediary for you. Ain't that some shit? Like, wow. And that's why Jesus had to be murdered. That's why the people who he was preaching the teachings of, Jesus was in a scene. He was baptized by John the Baptist, who is said to be a former Essene. This is what they were teaching. Gnosis. And after a period of time, the authorities went and launched a campaign to eradicate the Essenes. All of their books, everything, their knowledge, their way of life was attacked, attempted to destroy it. But they knew that was coming. So they went and hid scrolls, which are the Dead Sea Scrolls. Y'all, I'm just saying, just look all this shit up. Look at what you're participating in. Just because you're participating in this matrix, are you a bad person? Are you not evolved? Are you, dark? And no, it just means you have come to a point where you're no longer willing to just blindly accept. If you find yourself on this live right now, if you find yourself watching this recording, that is your soul letting you know it's not taking any more of the bullshit. None of it. It's not willing to continue to lay down and just keep taking this. It wants truth. It wants truth now. It's hungry, and it will only eat from the divine hand of Creator. It will not accept chips, beef jerky, whatever other food-like products. No, it wants real sustenance. It wants truth. And if you find yourself here, that's all I'm serving. Homegrown, home cooking. That's all I'm serving. And it's up to you if you're ready to accept this and begin doing your own legwork, meaning listening to the terms that I use, the things that I'm talking about, and looking for it yourself, because you're not supposed to just take my word for it. I'm supposed to simply trigger. I am a catalyst. I am part of an impetus that is going to get you to grow. I'm not the only part. I'm not the only component. I'm one fractal of what you need. So take whatever you need to take from the things that I'm saying and find your other pieces. Find the other parts that's going to help you to remember once again how whole you actually are. And I think another part's coming in very soon. Very, very soon. I think that is going to be a pleasure. I think another part is coming very soon. And for many of us, that other part is going to come in the form, in the shape of another human being. Reunification is imminent. I wish you would stop saying that to me, Michael. I just really wish you would stop. This whole imminent shit, either it happens or it doesn't. Leave me alone. I'm sorry. All right. So think on how your life has gone. Think of the connections you have. Think of the connections that have faltered and failed recently. Think of what direction you're going. Think of how you see yourself and then shift it all. Are you shifting everything 180 degrees? No, no. You can shift it 1 degree. You can shift it 161 degrees. You can go all the way back to center point and then just a degree further, because you're not going to be repeating these cycles. You don't need to become a completely different person. That's a fatal flaw. Thinking that in order to be spiritual, you have to let go of everything and be a completely different person, dress differently, speak differently, believe differently. No. Every component that is a part of you right now is there for a reason. And as it becomes irrelevant to your journey, it will naturally be shed away. There's no effort to that. It will naturally be shed away. It will be taken away. It will remove itself. Whatever it is, it will happen organically. You don't have to dump an entire life and become a completely different person, because that means you're trying. And when you're trying, you're not actually being. You don't have to try to be yourself. You just are. See how that works? You just are. And when people start to tell you, like, the way you think is wrong, the way you eat is wrong, the way you process trauma is wrong, why don't you go ahead and collect some crystals, take that shit to the end of the block and go kick those fucking rocks over there? Because no, there's nothing about me that's wrong. I understand who I am, where I am. I understand I have room to grow, but I also understand I've come such a long fucking way. You're not going to come here and disrespect my growth by telling me everything about me is wrong. You, sir, are wrong. You, ma'am, are wrong. There's nothing spiritual about your abuse of me and my growth. Collect your fucking crystals. Take them down over there to the corner where you got me fucked up and go kick those fucking rocks over there. That needs to be a shirt. That needs to be a shirt. Collect your crystals and kick those fucking rocks over there. Just saying. I'm just saying, I mean, these are things that you don't have to say out loud. These are things that your energy can say. You can simply be like, okay, thank you. And your energy will say, you need to fucking go. I'm not offended. You need to go. This is a waste of my time. I've already learned this lesson. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I know who I am. And I know I'm still growing. I'm changing every day. I'm developing into different versions of myself as I ripen. And it's okay. It's okay. I don't need you to understand. I don't need you to agree. I don't need you to approve. As long as I know that for myself, it's okay. It's okay. And you have to tell yourself these things, because no one else is going to tell you. No one else is going to tell you. So you have to be the one to tell yourself this. And you can't go and believe the one person that's being hateful, that's being narrow-minded. It's flat out demonic. That's just demonic, okay? I'll just tell you right now. That's just fucking demonic. That's demonic work. Plain and simple. If we're going to be fully honest, it's demonic work. When people do that to you, it's demonic work. And that's okay, because demons are allowed to exist to further the work that you weren't willing to learn in the light. If life is a classroom, light would be the classroom. Darkness would be the tutor. If you're not doing work in the classroom, when you go home, you got to go see the tutor. If you're not understanding the work in the light, you need a tutor. Is the tutor evil because you don't understand? Because you're not doing the work? No. Simply another method to teach you. So, learn the stuff you need to learn in the light, and demonic shit won't need to be involved. But with the way human minds work, demonic shit's often involved. You ain't got to be afraid. You ain't got to be afraid at all. At all. Because it serves you. At the end of the day, they're allowed to come to your doorstep to deliver lessons, to serve you. Okay? So, does that make them more powerful? No. They're serving you. So it's not something you need to fear. Do you fear the Amazon delivery man? Hey, I'm just saying, do you fear the Amazon delivery guy? I get pretty excited. So get excited. You see someone behaving demonic around you? I'm about to grow. I'm about to grow. Lessons coming. I'm about to grow. See it like that. It removes the fear. It really removes the fear. The fear exists to bring your attention to whatever your soul is trying to bring your attention to. And this is a process. I used to be very afraid. I was very tormented by really dark things until finally one day I snapped and I said, fuck you. I ain't taking this shit no more. I did. I said, fuck you. I ain't taking this shit no more. You want to try and come at me? Let's do this. Let's do that. I'm going to braid my hair, put on my overalls. We going to fight. And you know, I'm about to grow. That needs to be on a shirt. I'm about to grow. I'm about to grow. That's not what I said, but that's definitely more applicable. I'm just saying, I like that. I like that. Oh, okay, guys. I'm all hot and sweaty at this point. I gotta go. I gotta go. I don't know if I'm gonna be coming live later. I might. You'll know if you subscribe to my channel. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. And, you know, just tell them how's you growing. Bye, guys.